Hey, what's up guys? This is Ryan here at Fixmysmartphone, and we're going to be running through a iPhone 7 that has a classic having classic audio problems. Let me show you here. In the voice memos, if you can get it focused, when you try to record, it's lagging right now. If I can get it a little closer where you can see. So when you hit record, there's no microphone. Most of the time for these, the red recording bar is grayed out, so you can't record at all. With this one, it is just no microphone at all. And with the calls, you couldn't hear on the ear speaker. It was having multiple audio issues, so that just screams audio IC for the iPhone 7. So let's get into doing this repair. Into the fun stuff. Okay. Alright. First things first, let's get this out of the way. Alright, this repair is relatively simple. We're just going to do a quick run through of what it takes to do an audio IC repair. So this big chip right here that we're centered on is the audio IC chip, and I'm about to show you here on ZXW that chip would be right here, U3101. This is the audio codec chip, and this actually is the pin C12 here that we're going to be running a jumper wire for, because over time this line, when the board flexes, the resistance gets weaker and weaker, gets closer and closer to zero, rendering the audio just gets worse and worse. And so we're going to run a jumper to fix that problem. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull this chip. Alright, and I'm going to put a quarter over the NAND and blow away from it so I will not damage it. Let's get some flux on there. Oh, well, that should be enough. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to try my best to pull it straight up so that way I don't knock any of the nearby components off. And for those of you that microsolder, you definitely don't want to be pulling on this chip before the pins are liquefied underneath, because you will pull pads. Oh. Definitely didn't come off as clean as I wanted it to, but all the components are there, so we're good to go. So let's clean these pads up and get it ready for the new chip. You can never have too much flux when you're cleaning up these pads. Alright. And I like to just touch them with the soldering iron. Most people use the tweezers. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. I just like to go row by row until they look like little puffy pillows, as our friend Jessa the Professor would say. I don't like to spend too much time doing this, because trying to get each of them perfectly even, be here all day. As long as they're close enough and you don't have any Hershey Kisses, then you should be good. A lot of the times that C12 pad will come up when you touch it with the soldering iron because it is so weak. Yep, there it goes, it just came up. But whether it comes up or not, definitely need to run the jumper wire to be safe. And make sure we don't have any return customers. I think that'll be good. And as you can see, that third pad at the bottom left, or from the bottom left up, it is gone. And that is the pad that we were concerned about in the first place, as we should always be with the audio IC chip. It's that C12 pin. Most of the time it's going to be the one to come up. So we're going to run a jumper from R11 here, R1103 to C12, put a new chip back down, and this customer should be good to go. Looks like, looking at it again, I may need to push some of those pins down. So I don't want to spend too long doing this, but it does need to be good enough. Alright, now for the really fun part. I'm going to be running that jumper. And sometimes this takes 5 minutes, sometimes it takes a little longer. I like to get it on the first try, but it doesn't always work out that way.
One eternity later.
Alright, now that we've ran that very quick jumper wire, we are ready to put the chip back on. And so let's put the quarter back. That's a pretty good bit of flux. We usually don't want that much flux there when we put the chip down, because it'll be floating around when we try to solder it back on, but we should be able to work with that. So let's get a new chip. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. A lot of people like to hold the tweezers around the chip and apply the heat, but I like to kind of sneak up on it and read the flux as it positions itself on the board. So I'm going to get it as close as I can, just seating it here. And that looks pretty good. Well, maybe a little bit more to the left. Alright, that looks good. Okay. The orientation is right. Let's get our quarter to there. And let's solder this bad boy back on. I like to kind of get a little heat on there. And you can really got to read the flux when you're doing it this way. Just get it good and liquefied, and then you can get a little closer. You just don't want to blow the chip around. Alright, and it's starting to go underneath the chip. And once it starts breathing underneath the chip, you can really get close to it. You should see it in a second. Yep, there it goes. So we should be able to get pretty close to it now. You see it breathing, and it should see it jump. As soon as it jumps, we count to 5, and we are good to go. Okay, that not see that one jump, so I'm going to nudge it and make sure that it's connected the way it should be. Oh, there it went. So count to 5, 4, 3, 2. It's quite on there. Give it a little nudge to make sure. Yeah, it is on there. Okay. Alright. Let's plug this bad boy up. Everything connected. I'm going to plug it up, prompt to boot, and see what we got. Alright. See if you can see that Apple logo. Let me change the view so you can see it a little better. Alright. Alright, that was pretty fast boot. So far so good. Alright. Let's go to the voice memos app here. And for the ultimate test, we should see a microphone testing. You can see it going down there at the bottom. And this phone is now good to go. And that will be it for our audio IC problem. And we're going to start doing videos once we get these microsoldering repairs in, since we got our camera. Really nice microsoldering camera in. So we're just going to have to brag on that. And if you like this video, please subscribe and keep posted for more.